In this episode, we're going to talk about a sad little truth about the independent film industry, and it can be really, really rough on new filmmakers. And that is dealing with the critics. When you happen to see a bad review about your film online, it can make you feel like complete garbage. But there are things to consider when you find terrible reviews about your film. Now, what makes things so crushing to filmmakers is that in person, people will rarely tell you the truth about your movie. Most of your friends are going to tell you that they absolutely loved it, that you're great, blah blah blah, even if they feel that the movie was anything but. They want to be encouraging, they want to be supportive, and it's kind of human nature not to want to tell somebody that they suck if you like them. So instead of feeding off of all that false love, take all the comments you get from your friends and family with a grain of salt. That'll help you harden yourself when you end up dealing with people you don't know. Dealing with bad reviews when you're pumped up on all that love can really be crushing. It can even lead to some bits of depression or second-guessing yourself, keep you up at night wondering if you're any good. Don't let this happen to you. Instead of thinking about what the critics say, take a look at your film and think about things that you could do to improve on the next one. Now, the real harsh part is the fact that thanks to the internet, anybody can be a movie critic. And there are people out there who specifically go after these small films. And they'll even go after the big Hollywood blockbusters too. They're so full of anger and hate or menace that all they want to do is ruin somebody's day. And unfortunately, a lot of the venues which show these small independent films open their arms to the critics. They want to be interactive. They want you to be able to leave comments about the movies that you've seen. All it takes is somebody to have an account with one of these channels to instantly become a critic. And unfortunately, a good lot of them are going to take out their anger on your film. At some point, you are likely going to see some really horrible reviews right out there in the open for anybody in the world to see, and it's going to drive you completely crazy. Some reviewers get cute with their bad reviews and think that they're being clever by the way they describe your film. Others just basically flat out just say it's terrible and don't watch it. Don't let these bother you. Your friends might want to get on accounts and try to start fights with these trolls, but just leave it alone. Most people who look at reviews will notice that a lot of films have these types of comments on them. And the truth is that these bad reviews can come from anybody. They can come from a grumpy old guy who's not happy with his own life and wants to ruin everybody else's. They could come from an actor or an actress who didn't get cast in your film and wants to take revenge. Or it could just be a kid who had a bad day at school. Anybody, and I mean anybody, can leave a review on your film. Now, there are two types of people who leave reviews. There are the ones that honestly know the industry and are constructive in their criticism because they think that they're helping you. They don't think about the fact that they're also telling the world the bad points of your film, but they know that you're going to read them. And then there's the type who literally just want to troll you. They're the ones that are going to leave the most horrible review they possibly can, and they know that the world's going to see it, and they're hoping to shame you. There are also people who do videos and podcasts about films, and they can get pretty nasty too. For some reason, people love hearing other people trash things. A lot of these reviewers know this, and so they make it a point to get really nasty about films. Don't let it get to you. They're in the industry just like you are, only their idea of a character is being somebody who's pretty much a jackass. If you talk to other filmmakers who have been around for a while, they will tell you straight up not to pay attention to anybody can put in a review places. They'll tell you exactly what they feel about them, exactly the type of people who do them. They might even tell you stories of some of the really interesting ones that they've gotten on their own films. My point is, everybody at some point or another deals with this. You just need to harden up to it. Now, if you're brave, you might actually submit your film for criticism. This is usually done privately, although some do have their own websites where they'll post their reviews. But you can send in your film to a professional critic who will break it down by every point and consider the budget before typing up their report. This type of review can be extremely helpful to see flaws you yourself wouldn't have noticed. So if you decide that you want to have your film picked apart by a critic, I would suggest going the private route. Although, if you're very confident that people are going to like your film, you might risk doing the online ones where they will post the review in public. They're not going to engage in troll-like behavior, so the reviews aren't going to basically tell people never to see it and that you suck. But they will point out all the flaws in your film. Overall, the very best thing that you can possibly do is ignore the trolls. Keep making movies. You are going to have some that the public thinks is great, and you're going to have others that the public doesn't care much for. Either way, keep making the movies, and ignore the damn trolls. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Unconnected Filmmaker, and if you found this information useful and want to be notified when the next video premieres, just hit that subscribe button. Or, if you have anything you'd like to see an episode on, feel free to comment below. See you next time, and keep those cameras rolling.